And we now speak to the Commission on Human Rights. On the line is Chairman Chito Gascon. Good morning, sir. Thank you for taking our call.
Good morning, and good morning to all your listeners.
Sir, first, what is the reaction of the Human Rights Commission on the adoption of the resolution calling for a probe into the human rights situation in the country?
Well, we welcome it. The Commission on Human Rights has always been calling for transparency regarding the real numbers involving the violation of human rights in relation to the war on drugs. And we actually don't understand why government is angry about this resolution, because human rights are a matter of both national and international concern. And any effort that will help clear the air and bring clarity to the issue should be welcomed by the government, especially if it takes a position that it has nothing to hide. And we should actually be welcoming this resolution, because it is not really a resolution that, in a sense, chastises the government. It just says that there are reports of human rights violations, and that the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, the former president of Chile, Michelle Bachelet, should be encouraged to monitor the situation regularly and to receive reports from any source, including government, regarding what's happening here.
So what exactly does this resolution mean now? And can you explain to us what happens from here?
Well, what the resolution means is that the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights is given particular attention to what's happening in this country. And you have to understand that this is the mandate of the UN Human Rights Council to take a look at situations across the world involving human rights violations. For example, just 2 years ago, we understood.
Now, regarding this resolution, can you explain to us what happens from here and what can the United Nations do and not do as it goes about its investigation?
Well, what happens from here is that the Human Rights Council is put on attention about what's happening in this country, and UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, former President of Chile, Michelle Bachelet, is mandated to regularly monitor what's happening here and to receive reports from any source, including the government. And so this isn't really something that should be a cause for concern from the Philippine government, because on a regular basis, we do make reports to the UN human rights system. Just 2 years ago, we undertook what's called the Universal Periodic Review, where our full human rights record was put under review and scrutiny. And this is similar to that. It's just that it's not the Universal Periodic Review, which happens every 4 years, but rather the High Commissioner now is given notice by the Council to receive all reports and to report back next year on the progress regarding this matter in the subject matter of the resolution.
Okay, well, you have President Duterte welcoming any foreign probe, and then there's Foreign Affairs Secretary Teddy Boy Locsin saying it's one-sided, and then there's presidential spokesperson Sal Penelo who says it's based on misinformation. What's your reaction to all of that?
Well, if the government, for example, believes it's based on misinformation or that it's one-sided, then the best approach is really to welcome the resolution, because it helps or creates the situation for clearing the air. And so we call on the government to cooperate with the UN human rights system, as well as to cooperate with national human rights mechanisms, to show that it is transparent, to show that it has nothing to hide, and that ultimately, should there be violations found, to hold the individual perpetrators to account. So this isn't really something that should be a cause for anger or acrimony on the part of our government officials.
Now, Locsin and Penelo also say that the investigation will have consequences. Can the Philippine government actually reject this resolution? And if it does not abide by it, what's going to happen?
Well, actually, I understand that the statement of Secretary Locsin itself says that they will reject outright this resolution. But we are a member of the UN Human Rights Council, and as a member of the Human Rights Council, we are expected to abide by the decision of the majority in this case. And second, we are supposed to cooperate as best we can with the mechanisms in the Human Rights Council. So I hope that Secretary Panela and Secretary Locsin might look at this resolution in a more positive light.
All right. Now, based on CHR data, how many Filipinos have died because of the country's drug war?
Ria, we do not, as an institution, undertake, let's say, a bean counting process. We do not actually know how many have actually been killed in the course of the war on drugs. There are different estimates. The police themselves have said that there are at least 6,600 that have been killed in what they call as legitimate police operations, or what they call non-laban cases. But there are a larger number than that involving killings where the perpetrators are unknown. This is why it's important to have this independent investigation, because it will help determine the actual numbers. But if you're asking how many cases we are currently monitoring, we have received close to 2,000 complaints and reports, and we are currently investigating that number of deaths relating to the war on drugs. Of course, this goes to the war on drugs issue, but there are, of course, other human rights violations that are being reported, such as attacks on activists, lawyers, and so on. So this resolution should be seen in that light, that the Human Rights Council is concerned about the number of killings and that we should do something about it. And all government agencies, CHR, the police, the prosecutors must cooperate with the UN system so that we can reassure the public that we are willing and able to address the human rights situation in the country.
All right. Thank you very much for your time, Commission on Human Rights Chairman Chito Gascon.